Have you ever dreamed of taking one last big trip in retirement? Maybe a cruise to Alaska, a tour of Europe, or visiting family across the country. For many older adults, traveling after 70 feels like a reward for a life well lived. But what if that dream vacation came with risks no one warned you about? The truth is, after 70, your body and mind respond to travel differently. What used to be a fun adventure can now leave you exhausted, confused, or even in danger. And the scariest part? Most seniors don't realize these risks until it's too late. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 hidden dangers of traveling after 70. These aren't just minor inconveniences. These are the kinds of issues that can turn a peaceful getaway into a medical or financial nightmare. But don't worry, this isn't about scaring you. It's about helping you stay safe, prepared, and in control. Because when you understand the risks, you can still enjoy the journey with confidence and peace of mind. Stay with us until the very end, because the final danger is something most seniors never even consider. Yet it's one of the most common reasons trips go terribly wrong. Let's get started. Danger number 1, hidden health crises that strike when you're far from home. Imagine this. Margaret, a 78-year-old widow from Colorado, had always dreamed of seeing the cherry blossoms in Japan. Her doctor had given her the green light months earlier, and she felt healthy and energetic. But 3 days into her trip, after a long walk through a crowded Tokyo park, she collapsed from shortness of breath. It turned out her undiagnosed arrhythmia had been triggered by fatigue and jet lag. With no family nearby and only basic English spoken at the clinic she was rushed to, Margaret spent 2 frightening days alone until her daughter could fly in to help. This is the harsh reality many seniors face when traveling after 70. What once felt adventurous can quickly turn into a medical crisis. As we age, even minor health conditions, like high blood pressure, joint pain, or digestive issues, can become unpredictable under the stress of travel. Long flights increase the risk of blood clots. Sudden climate changes can strain the heart or lungs, and unfamiliar foods or medications can trigger serious reactions. What makes these situations worse is the delay in care. Unlike back home, where you know your doctors, your medications, and your emergency contacts, a foreign country, or even a different state, can add layers of confusion, language barriers, and limited medical access. It's not just about the health scare. It's the isolation and uncertainty that magnify the danger. So what can you do differently? Here are a few solutions seniors often overlook, but should consider before traveling. Get a senior-specific travel checkup, not just a routine one. Ask your doctor specifically, am I cleared for this trip, given the altitude, distance, and pace I'll be moving at? Request a printed health summary with current medications, allergies, and medical history, translated if you're going abroad. Pre-book telemedicine access. Some apps allow you to consult with a US doctor virtually from anywhere. Choose accommodations close to a hospital, especially if you have a heart or lung condition. Bring a lightweight health emergency kit, including things like rehydration salts, a basic pulse oximeter, and copies of prescriptions. And perhaps the most underrated solution, travel with a companion or caregiver, even if it's just a younger relative or friend. Having someone to advocate for you in an emergency can make all the difference. As thrilling as travel can be, it's important to remember that after 70, health risks no longer wait for a better time. They show up when you least expect them, and often when you're least prepared. But with the right steps, you can reduce the risk and travel smarter, not just farther. Danger number 2, hidden germs and infections that hit seniors harder than expected. Let me introduce you to Ronald, a 76-year-old retired teacher from New Mexico. He had always prided himself on being active and independent. Last fall, he took a long-awaited train trip through Northern Europe. He packed light, stayed in hostels to feel young again, and sampled every local delicacy he could find. By the 5th day, Ronald developed a high fever, diarrhea, and a relentless cough. What he thought was just a common cold turned out to be a serious respiratory infection combined with a foodborne illness, brought on by contaminated salad and poorly sanitized public restrooms. He spent the last 3 days of his vacation in a hospital in Prague, weak and scared, barely able to communicate with the doctors. This isn't rare, so how can you protect yourself without becoming paranoid? Here are smarter, senior-friendly strategies. Use natural immunity boosters in the weeks leading up to your trip. Things like elderberry extract, vitamin C plus zinc, probiotics, and regular sleep can make a real difference. Pack disposable seat covers and sanitizing wipes, especially for flights and trains. Wipe down armrests, trays, and hotel light switches. Avoid raw foods in unfamiliar places, especially salads, shellfish, or dairy. Instead, opt for cooked meals at reputable establishments with good hygiene practices. Stick with bottled water, even for brushing your teeth, in countries where water quality is uncertain. Bring a lightweight personal air purifier, or wear a filtered mask in crowded areas like airports or buses. Travel with a small infection emergency kit that includes fever reducers, rehydration powder, and anti-diarrheal medication, just in case. And perhaps the most valuable tool? Know when to rest. Pushing yourself when your immune system is under stress only makes you more vulnerable. Just like Ronald, you might think you're just being adventurous, but adventure doesn't have to mean risking your health. Travel should leave you with memories, not medical bills. Knowing your body's limits and guarding against hidden infection risks can mean the difference between a trip of a lifetime and a trip you wish you hadn't taken. Danger number 3. Travel fatigue that lingers and steals your energy. Imagine this: Barbara, a 76-year-old widow from Phoenix, had just booked her dream trip to Alaska with her best friend. It was meant to be relaxing, a scenic train ride, boat tours through glaciers, a change of scenery from the desert heat. But on just the 2nd day, Barbara found herself completely drained. Her legs ached, her head throbbed, and all she wanted was to crawl back into bed. She hadn't done anything strenuous, just walking through airports, adjusting to the time change and sleeping in an unfamiliar hotel room. But for Barbara, it wasn't just tiredness, it was travel fatigue, and it would take her over 2 weeks to fully recover. And she's not alone. After age 70, the body doesn't bounce back the way it once did. The same travel that once left you energized in your 40s now leaves you feeling like you've run a marathon. Why it happens? Aging muscles and joints become more prone to stiffness and inflammation, especially during long flights or bus rides. Disrupted sleep in hotel rooms or unfamiliar beds affects the brain, heart, and immune system. Jet lag lasts longer, especially when crossing multiple time zones, sometimes up to a week or more. And change in routine, meal times, medication schedule, hydration can send your entire body into stress mode. The hidden risk. When you're exhausted, your immune system weakens, your balance suffers, increasing the risk of falls, and you're more likely to become confused or disoriented, especially in crowded tourist areas. That dream vacation can quickly turn into a medical emergency, or at the very least, a miserable experience that steals weeks of your energy. What you can do, instead, if you still want to travel, you can, but travel differently. Plan built-in rest days. For every day of sightseeing, schedule a quiet day with no obligations. Book direct flights or break long trips into shorter segments. A 6-hour trip with a restful layover is easier than pushing through one 12-hour haul. Prioritize sleep quality. Bring your own pillow, earplugs, and a small lavender spray. Request quiet hotel rooms, away from elevators or street noise. Hydrate intentionally. Carry a reusable water bottle and drink more than you think you need. Travel dehydration is sneaky. Listen to your body. If your legs feel heavy, if your eyes are drooping, rest. You don't need to push through anymore. Barbara eventually made it home safely, but she later said, "I wish I had treated the trip like a marathon, not a sprint. I thought rest was optional, but at my age it's survival." So if you're planning a trip, ask yourself, are you setting yourself up for memories? Or for a recovery that will last longer than the vacation itself? Because travel should rejuvenate you, not rob you of your strength. Danger number 4, falls and injuries that can change everything in seconds. Let's talk about one of the most underestimated risks of traveling after 70, falling. Now picture this, Mr. Leonard, an 81-year-old retired jazz musician from Atlanta, finally said yes to visiting New Orleans, a city he had always dreamed of seeing. The trip was going well. Live music, good food, old architecture. Until one rainy evening, he slipped on the slick marble steps of a historic hotel. He fractured his hip. What was supposed to be a joyful getaway turned into emergency surgery, a hospital stay in a city far from home, and months of painful rehabilitation. And just like that, Leonard's independence, his ability to walk unassisted, to go grocery shopping, even to shower alone, was gone. Why this risk grows. After age 70, bones become more fragile, making breaks and fractures more common. Balance worsens, especially in new environments with uneven flooring, steps, or poor lighting. Muscle strength declines, making it harder to catch yourself mid-stumble. And fatigue, jet lag, and medication side effects can slow reflexes even further. Now combine that with slippery hotel bathtubs, dim restaurants with tricky steps, crowded tourist areas where you're jostled constantly. It's a recipe for disaster. Real consequences. A fall at home is bad enough, but a fall in a foreign city or a cruise ship? You may face language barriers, limited access to care, or delayed treatment. You might not have family nearby to advocate for you. And medical evacuation, even with insurance, can cost $20,000 or more. But the worst part isn't the money. It's losing your mobility and freedom. What you can do to stay upright and safe: choose senior-friendly destinations. Look for places with flat walkways, elevators, and clear signage. Avoid high-risk areas, cobblestone streets, historic buildings with no handrails, or hilly towns. Pack stability aids, even if you think you won't need them. A collapsible walking cane, grippy shoes, or even a folding travel stool can be lifesavers. Stay on well-lit, well-marked paths. And don't be afraid to say no to that off-the-beaten-path tour if it feels risky. Pace yourself. Fatigue makes you wobbly. Take breaks before your body demands them. Book smart. Request accessible hotel rooms with walk-in showers and grab bars. Train your balance at home. Simple exercises like standing on one foot or heel-to-toe walking with support can build fall resilience before your trip. Leonard's story has a hopeful ending. After rehab and a lot of hard work, he's walking again with a cane and says, "Next time, I'm choosing a hotel with an elevator and skipping the rainy day walks." Because he learned the hard way. One fall can change your life, but a few simple precautions can help protect it. Danger number 5. Travel insurance gaps and hidden financial traps. Let's meet Evelyn, a 73-year-old widow from Arizona. After years of putting it off, she finally booked her dream river cruise in Eastern Europe. She did everything right, or so she thought. The morning before her flight, Evelyn came down with a terrible fever. Her doctor warned against flying. She tried to cancel the trip, but the airline, hotel, and cruise line wouldn't refund a dime. She hadn't purchased travel insurance. Evelyn lost over $6,000 in non-refundable bookings, money she'd saved for years. She never left home and never got that money back. Why this matters more after 70. When you're in your 30s or 40s, a missed flight or stomach bug might just be an inconvenience. But in your 70s or 80s, one health flare-up can derail everything. And the financial risk? It's not just about trip cancellation. It's about medical bills abroad that regular Medicare doesn't cover. Emergency evacuations that can cost $20,000 to $100,000. Delayed or lost luggage, which could mean days without medications or medical equipment. Scams targeting older travelers, from fake tour operators to ATM fraud. Even worse, many seniors assume their U.S. health insurance will work overseas. It usually doesn't. Common travel mistakes that cost seniors thousands, booking through non-reputable travel sites or clicking on too good to be true deals. Skipping travel insurance, thinking I've never needed it before. Trusting verbal agreements with hotels or tour guides instead of reading the fine print. Carrying large amounts of cash or not securing credit cards properly. How to travel smarter and safer. Always get travel insurance. Look for plans that cover trip cancellations due to illness. Include medical emergencies, hospital stays, and evacuations. Reimburse for lost baggage, delays, or interrupted trips. Use trusted booking platforms or work with a certified travel agent experienced with senior travel. Avoid paying in full up front. Choose refundable options when available, even if they cost more. Be vigilant. Use RFID blocking wallets, lock your bags, and avoid public Wi-Fi for financial transactions. Limit exposure. Bring 2 credit cards. Keep one stored separately in case of theft. Know your health coverage. If Medicare is your primary insurance, consider a Medigap policy with foreign travel benefits or standalone travel medical insurance. Evelyn learned a hard lesson. Planning a trip isn't just about where you're going, it's about protecting yourself from what might go wrong. She later booked a shorter domestic trip with full coverage and said, "I felt safer, slept better, and finally enjoyed traveling again." Because at this stage of life, peace of mind is worth every penny. Final thoughts. Travel shouldn't take more than it gives. We've just uncovered 5 hidden dangers that can quietly turn a senior's dream vacation into a distressing ordeal. Health emergencies, infections, exhaustion, falls, and financial pitfalls. Each one might seem manageable on its own, but together, they can add up fast. But this isn't a message to stop living. It's a reminder to travel with wisdom. Because after 70, the way we travel needs to evolve, with more planning, more protection, and more grace for our changing bodies. Your energy is precious, your health is irreplaceable, and your peace of mind, it should never be left behind in the rush to go somewhere new. So before you book that next flight or cruise, ask yourself, is this trip designed for my body today, not the one I had 20 years ago? Do I have the protection and flexibility I need if something goes wrong? Will this journey leave me feeling fulfilled or just fatigued? Sometimes, the most meaningful adventures are the ones that don't put you at risk, but instead bring you closer to comfort, connection, and joy. And remember, saying no to a risky trip doesn't mean giving up on life. It means choosing to live it on your terms, with clarity, courage, and care. Thank you for watching and walking this journey with us.